Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a beginner's guide to working out, in which I'm going to try to give you all the information that you're going to need in order to start your fitness journey and start in the gym. Now I've added chapters to this video so that you guys can go skip around to the parts that you're actually interested in. However, I would recommend that you watch the whole thing once and then go back to the parts that you found interesting or that you wanted to know more about. Now a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be covering in this video comes from a lot of personal research and experience, because I've been in the gym for around 4 or 5 years now. I also managed to get into different kinds of shapes, some being a bit bigger and some being a bit more skinny, so I kind of know how to lose weight and how to gain weight a little bit. Now without further ado, let's get right into the first part of this video, which is going to be training and working out and everything that comes along with it. Now one very common question is whether or not you should start training at home before going into the gym. And the short answer to that is no, you don't really need any basic strength to go to the gym, because there are so many beginner-friendly exercises there and the benefits far outweigh the negatives. However, I do understand that going to the gym the first time is quite a daunting task and many people are actually afraid of going to the gym. So some things that I can recommend is basically finding a friend to go with, because it's always better to be in a weird situation together than alone. Another tip I would have for you is basically going there and simply doing really easy exercises, like for example running on a treadmill, which should get you over the sort of fear of being in the gym. And once you're a bit more comfortable with the environment, you can start testing out different sort of exercises, some machines maybe, some dumbbells, and then slowly work your way up until you're completely comfortable in the gym and doing any of the exercises there.
What do you guys think? Am I getting too big?
And so yeah, I believe that it would be worth it to just rip off the band-aid and go to the gym. Another thing to keep in mind is that in the gym, everyone is kind of focusing on their own shit. No one cares about you in a way. So it's kind of like, if you don't care, no one else will care what you do, unless you're being dangerous or in danger of hurting yourself or anyone else. Then people might say something. But usually they just focus on their own stuff. They have their own insecurities. They might be right after a breakup or something like that, and they won't be thinking about you. They will just be focused on themselves. And in the gym, everyone is usually quite positive and helpful, because everyone's there for the same reason, which is to better themselves. Up next, we have what training split should I use? And by training split, I mean, how am I going to divide up my workouts in the week? Now, there are 4 main ways that you can kind of divide the week up into workouts, and those are push, pull, legs, upper body, lower body, a full body split, and a body part split. Now the 2 splits that I recommend and have actually personally used are the push pull legs and the full body split. I've also done the body part split, but I would leave that for later on when you actually understand your body better and know where you need to work on more, whereas the other 2 are very good for beginners and help you target all muscles in your body and kind of start with the whole working out thing without it being too complex. The upper lower split is one that I've never actually personally tried, but I would love to try it in the future, and I'll let you guys know what I think of it then. Now the push-pull leg split is basically the first day dedicated to push motion, which is basically training your chest, your tricep, and your shoulders. The second day is dedicated to pulling motions, which is usually your entire back and your biceps. And then the legs day is obviously for your lower body, for your glutes, your hamstrings, your quadriceps, and your calves. And then you basically rotate through push-pull legs, and then have rest days in between. The full body split, however, is the one that I would recommend for you guys if you're a complete beginner, because it basically requires you to only go into the gym around 3 times a week, because you're going to be doing all muscles every session and they're all going to need quite some rest after every session, so you can do rest days in between. Now the next question that I'm going to be answering is how hard and how much I should train. Now ideally you should be hitting each of the muscle groups at least twice a week. With the full body split, you're obviously hitting all muscles 3 times a week, which is great. Now ideally the weight that you should be using is going to get you 3 reps from failure or less, with failure basically meaning you can't move the weight up again. Now speaking of reps, what are the rep ranges that you should be using? Now this one is completely goal dependent. If your goal is to basically build strength, then you should be doing 3 to 5 reps. If you're more into the physique and the visuals of it, then you should be doing 8 to 12 reps, which is ideal for hypertrophy. And hypertrophy is basically just a fancy way of saying making your muscle cells bigger. Now if your goal is muscle endurance, then you want to do more than 15 reps, which is great for doing all kinds of practical stuff like painting a wall or running a marathon, which now that I think about it, isn't that practical. Now, the majority of my personal training is between the rep ranges of 8 to 12 because that's the best for building muscle. I do like to finish off my workouts with an endurance set because it kind of gives you an amazing pump and you look big in the mirror. And it's also usually with lighter weight, meaning you can kind of force yourself to do more repetitions, and it's more of a mental fight rather than a physical one. In addition to that, endurance workouts also build lean muscle, which is more skinny and good for modeling, obviously, because you don't want to get out of the measurements and, you know, yeah. Now, the next topic is abs and how do I get them? Now, this question I get a lot on my Instagram. Now, abs are quite a tough thing because they're hugely dependent on your diet and your body fat percentage. Now, of course, there are exercises that you can do in order to get abs, which is why ab workouts are always great to have in your workout routine. I usually do them at the end of my workouts, and then sometimes I start with them in order to have as much energy as I can for the ab workout, because I don't want to be always putting that second and never actually focusing on it. I also think that training your abs with weight is actually super helpful and is something that speeds up the whole showing your abs process. If you guys are interested in that, I will make a video on that separately, which will go into all the details about abs, and I will leave this video for the general basics and all the other stuff that I still have planned. Something that many people might consider once they join a gym is getting a personal trainer. I think that's a great idea. The first few sessions are going to be very, very helpful because he or she is going to show you all the exercises and what you can do for what muscle groups. It is, however, not entirely necessary because there are so many YouTube videos on how to do all the exercises and how to do them right. Just make sure you choose someone that knows what they're talking about. The channel that I would highly recommend is Jeff Nippert, who is also very good with the more scientific based workouts and all of that. Now, another obvious question is whether you should be using free weights, which are like dumbbells and barbells and all of that, or if you should be using machines, which will keep you in a sort of rigid place and you will be doing the exercises there. They're both great for their own reasons. The free weights on one hand get you to use your stabilizers and are more useful in the real life scenarios, whereas the machine exercises kind of keep you in a rigid place and might be better for mind-muscle connection, which is basically how well you're able to contract the muscle that you are actually training and how well you're able to focus on that one rather than all the other ones. And so machines are great for actually targeting one singular muscle rather than a group. As with most things, I would recommend doing a bit of both. Usually I try to start my workouts with the free weight exercises and sort of some compound exercises. Compound meaning that it trains multiple muscle groups and muscles at the same time. Exercises that do this are, for example, the pull-up or the deadlift or the squat or anything like that. Once I'm done with those compound exercises, I then move on to the machine and the isolated exercises. Right, guys, I apologize if the setup is a little bit different or the sound or anything is different. Basically, my camera died, and so I had to quickly change camera to this one. Now, the next thing is cardio. Should you do it, and how much, and before or after the workout? Now, in short, yes, everyone should do cardio because A, it improves the health of your heart, and B, it keeps you more fit to actually do higher intensity workouts and be more productive during your workout sessions. Now, the rest of it kind of depends on what your goal is. If your goal is losing fat, for example, you should be doing a lot more cardio than someone whose goal is to gain muscle, and that is because cardio basically helps you burn more calories and makes the dieting part of losing fat a lot easier, trust me. And if your goal is to lose fat, you should also be doing it before the rest of your workout because you will have the most energy then and you will use it on losing fat rather than building muscle, if that makes sense. If your goal, on the other hand, is to gain muscle instead of losing fat, then you should be doing it the other way around, working out first and then doing your cardio, and also doing less cardio and focusing more on the actual workout. Now, that's gonna be the end of part one of this video. Now, the second part of this video is gonna be about dieting. If you guys have any questions about my personal diet, please go watch my YouTube video about my personal diet first and then ask me those questions because a lot of it will be covered there. If you are completely new to the gym, then just working out alone will have a huge impact on your physique, and you probably don't even need to pay that much attention to your diet in order to start seeing changes. If you pay attention to your diet just a little bit and eat less of the shitty foods and more of the good foods, and you actually know what those are, you know that McDonald's is not good for you, for example, and you know that broccoli is. So basically just paying a little bit of attention to that is already going to do a lot for you. Now, in addition to that, you want to make sure that you get the protein that you need in order to actually build the muscle, which is usually around 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. I personally weigh around 78 kilos, which means I will need around 160 grams of protein every day. Something that helps me a lot is keeping track of my body weight and taking progress photos, which is something that at first is really weird because you're just standing there and turning around, you know, but after a while you'll get used to it, and it actually helps you motivate yourself a lot because you see the changes and you know that you're not where you started, and it's just a generally good feeling to know that that you're going in the right direction. Now, the third part of this video is going to be about recovery and rest days, and that's, in my opinion, a super important topic. Now, I would say that 2 rest days a week are probably ideal for the normal person, and if you can split them between midweek and end of the week, then that's even better. With a push-pull legs split, for example, that could look like Monday push, Tuesday pull, Wednesday legs, Thursday rest day, Friday push, Saturday pull, and then Sunday rest again. I personally believe in building momentum and building habits, so I personally take very, very few rest days. What I will do, however, is doing an active recovery or active rest day, which means I still go to the gym, but I don't do a heavy workout. I will just do some swimming or a bit of cardio or just some abs instead, because that will keep me in the routine of going to the gym. In addition, the gym actually gives me a lot of energy, so it helps actually going even if I'm not doing much, because afterwards I actually feel so great about having gone to the gym that I'm able to be more productive for the rest of the day. I don't know if that makes sense to you or if you're the same, but it's something that I recommend trying, because by building habits, it makes it much easier to stay disciplined and actually go to the gym whenever you need to. Up next is sleep, and sleep is key if you want to build muscle, and so a healthy sleep schedule is ideal for working out. I try to get a minimum of 8 hours, and it's actually something that I would recommend to all of you guys, because sleep is super important for everything. It helps you perform better in the gym, but also outside of the gym, in school, in uni, at your job, everywhere else. You're going to be better at it if you sleep enough. One thing that I would like to go into as well is basically alcohol and drinking it, and what effect that has on your body, your physique, and your workout. Now, obviously you want to be minimizing the amount that you drink if you want to build the best possible physique, but it's quite unrealistic, in my opinion at least, to completely cut out alcohol, because you do still want to have fun in life and not be a robot, but actually go out sometimes, have a fun party with some friends or whatever. Some of you guys might be going to uni now, and it's even more unrealistic to cut out drinking completely there. However, minimizing it is the key, and sort of making up for the drinking the next day with a really productive and high quality workout session. Obviously, a beer here or there isn't actually going to have that massive of an impact on you, but it's something to keep in mind while you're going out and while you're living your life. This next thing that I'm going to talk about is something that I have to talk about, because so many people on my Instagram have the wrong idea about this topic, and that is supplements. Now, in talking about supplements, I'm not talking about steroids. I'm very, very far away from trying anything like that. Protein powder and creatine, for example, however, are not that. They are not steroids. Whey protein, for example, actually comes from milk, which is something that most people have no problem with drinking, so it shouldn't really be a problem to actually add whey protein powder to your diet as well, because, you know, it's made of the same thing that you're drinking in your coffee every morning. The last thing that I would like to talk about in this video is when you are actually going to see progress. Now, this is obviously vastly dependent on who you are, what your genetics are, your age, your gender, your hormones. There are so many different sort of things that impact how fast you will see progress, and it is also directly related to the motivation and the intensity and, you know, fighting spirit that you put into this working out thing. Obviously, your discipline also plays a huge role, because if you say you're going to go 6 times a week and you only go about 3 times, then that's not as effective as you could be. Instead, if you stay disciplined, then you will see results fairly quickly. It obviously also isn't one size fits all. That's why I can't really give you any numbers. And it's also why if you go with a friend and you do the exact same workouts, you might see results earlier or later than them. It's just purely based on everyone being different. However, don't lose hope, and I promise you, if you stay disciplined, you will see results. Either way, guys, that's gonna be it from me for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you learned anything, please leave a like for more content like this, gym related, workouts, and anything like that. Leave a comment as well if you have any questions about the video or anything else workout related, and I will try to get to you guys. I hope that at least one of you guys actually starts their workout journey because of this. I will see you guys in the next video.